Right. Like a new LCS.
Down payment for my Airwolf. I mean, Delta Wolf. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Like on
How are you?
Christmas
How are
vacation.
you? Hey, your wife did a good job on that.
Go tell
I know,
everybody.
she didn't
Mad
hello.
at me 'cause she made it all crooked.
Hello, everybody. The ant.
It's pretty cool, though.
It is pretty cool.
So we're live right now?
Someone's not paying attention.
Man, but
I've been eavesdropping on y'all's
but at least
conversations.
she got here in time, Joe.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is this my light? Yes, it is.
Where's your hat, buddy?
Waiting on the Rick, waiting on the Rick. Bush.
Oh, yeah, that's just what I needed.
Very good.
Blinding lasers right in my eyes. Not that we didn't have enough of that today. Thanks. That's great.
It makes you look better, Travis.
That's it. Well, I need all the
Yes.
help I can get.
Got a
If
couple
that's,
more.
if that's helping, put some more lights up.
Well, everybody, good evening
Good evening.
and welcome to the day one wrap from Airgun Expo 2021. This was the first time I know of that anybody's tried to do such a thing. And guys, was it fun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had
a good
Enjoyed it.
All right.
tired.
So yeah. So today, the wrap here, we're going to be doing these every night, kind of talking about what we shot today, what we experienced, what we liked, and
What
what
we
we
learned.
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this portion is brought to you by Airguns of Arizona. This event would not have happened without our sponsors. So right off the rip, we want to say thank you to all the folks that have contributed to this. And Airguns of Arizona was the key partner to make this happen. We also have Predator Pellets right here, the official pellet of Airgun Expo 21. And he's the official pellet because there's the only one we could get.
There's the right one to get.
And now all of a sudden the check is not going to clear.
No, it's not. It bounced faster than a basketball down the road.
Yeah, bounce faster than my email asking for where pellets were. In all seriousness, we had a great day today. We started off with something really cool from Airguns of Arizona. They brought out the LCS.
SK19.
Tag them. I'm going to get that name right eventually. SK19, which is there's in 25 cal. Is that right?
Correct.
You guys are shooting 25 cal. It's full auto, and you guys got to check out this video because Angie, have you shot full auto airgun before?
No.
No, you shot full auto at SHOT Show, but that was a full auto.
Yeah, that wasn't an air gun.
No, it was not. But you,
It's the only full auto air rifle made, though. So,
I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah, no, there's
You know-
The
semi-autos.
Blitz.
No,
There's not
there's
full
there's
autos.
there's other
Full
full
autos.
autos. Yeah,
No.
it's not the
Well,
only.
in BBs.
Yeah, I'm talking.
No, I think there's some pellet gun full autos. We're gonna get sidetracked.
We're going to
here.
get back to that.
If you guys know of another full auto pellet rifle, let us know.
I thought we're
How's that?
supposed to know this.
You know, we don't know everything. Angie.
we don't. I don't claim.
Not
to
even
either.
Travis knows everything.
I don't.
You know what I liked about the SK19?
Which
What's
like?
I have this thing where I give myself a grace period when I first get a gun because I don't know the trigger, but it was spot on right away. I didn't even need a grace period. That was sweet.
Yeah.
And you ripped it full auto too. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was fun smashing that gong and the fragments of the, oh, it was so pretty. It was cool. It was cool. Travis, what did you like most of today?
What did I like? Well, seeing that no one has ever taken on an endeavor like this before, Rick, I was pleased it went as well as it did. There's a lot of things that could have went sideways really easy, but none of those things emerged, and I think we came out unscathed pretty much. So that's what I like the most.
Well, I'm glad we have a crew here and you guys
Yeah.
that are up here are
Great
seeing
crew.
the crew that has dedicated a lot of hours to pulling that off. It is not me. It's not just me.
No, no.
Not by a long shot. We
Yeah.
have a bunch of people that are Some are even just volunteers that are doing this. And so kudos to those guys.
Yes, thank you.
This would not happen without their hard work. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and they're the ones that don't get seen on camera and and you don't see how hard they're working.
They're the
So
smart
it's-
ones.
it's
Right.
There's
not a
smart
very-
ones.
The smart ones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Well, I tell you, today we got to
True.
shoot the LCS.
Yep.
yeah.
We got to shoot the Gauntlet II,
Yes.
G2.
and we got to shoot some of the new JSB 177 slugs.
You're gonna pass by
You know,
the
that
Gauntlet
was one
too.
of the coolest things.
Excuse
you
me?
know.
Yeah.
I'm coming back.
You're
to it.
gonna, okay. I
I'm
was just
coming. I
making
was,
sure.
I was
thought you were,
making a list.
thought you were
Angie.
missing the conversation.
I was making a list and I was going to check it twice. And I don't know why that's pulling funny. I was making a list to check it twice. Okay. Just mentioning things. All right.
All right.
All right. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just checking.
Wow.
I know, right? Anyway, so we shot these three awesome products,
Yeah.
and they each had something different to bring to the industry, and that is sort of what Airgun Expo is about.
Yeah.
Larry, we ran you ragged a little bit today.
A little bit. That's okay.
What'd you think?
I get a day to rest tomorrow.
You do. You don't have much to do tomorrow.
I was hoping you're going to ask me what I liked best about it.
What'd you like best about it?
That Angie beat all you guys.
Oh, she
That's
did.
debate. No,
brought
I
it
think
up.
that's debatable.
No,
I say
knew it
watch
would
the
raise
video.
Umarex said my
Watch
group
the
was
video.
better. Umarex is what counts.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
They're
If
good.
you
Well,
look,
it's their
Wow.
first of all,
Okay.
if you guys are like, we missed it, you didn't miss anything. Okay. You missed it live, but you can go back and watch it. Go to, that's youtube.com/AirgunWeb. If you're watching us here, you're at the right spot. Just go to the live videos and all of the live stuff from today is there. So please go back and you be the judge. You tell us,
Yeah, there you go.
did Angie beat Travis? Or we have peanut gallery is chiming in, or did Travis beat Angie? I failed in both counts, so I'm sort of out of it. So there now, 3. Anything else, Larry?
Yeah, it sort of made me realize how many different things that Airguns of Arizona actually carries and offers.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to go through all of them. And our general manager, I talked to him in between some of the segments, and he said, don't forget to tell everybody that, our manufacturers, we work with them and develop some of these guns, and they listen and make changes on the fly
Based on your requirements.
based on the requirements of US shooters,
That's
not
cool.
just
That's nice.
overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do. They listen, they respond. And this new Delta Wolf came from a lot of input from US shooters and Airguns of Arizona.
That's cool,
So
man.
That
It's
is
good to have that
that's super cool.
relationship.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that's built on time and trust. It
Yes.
And listen,
doesn't happen overnight.
actually listening is
Yeah.
like really. I've dealt with a lot of manufacturers in my day and the years I've been doing this, and so many of them get tunnel vision on what they like and ignore what
Right.
the consumers are asking for.
Mhm.
And that is the death knell of a product. It may be awesome to you, but if it's not received well by the consumers, you need to take a step back. If you want to be successful in the market, you actually find out what people want to shoot. Right?
Yeah.
And then you can make something for you, keep it in your closet, have fun, knock yourself out. But if you want to be successful in the US market, you got to listen to what consumers are asking for. And then you got to give it to them. It's got to work. It's got to be at an affordable price. You have all these things that need to line up.
All these boxes have to be
And
checked.
a lot
that's
of
for
those
sure.
don't get checked, right? So when you have a vendor and distributor, and look, one thing we didn't really talk about, and I don't know if you wanted to, Larry, but I run Airgun Pro Shop. It's a big part of what we do here. And a lot of the volunteers that are working for us right now actually are my employees. So the other end of what you guys have is precision airgun distribution. So if there are dealers that
Right.
want to get into selling air guns, if you were to go out and source X brand and bring those in and stock them and distribute them, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're going to actually do anything with it. I mean, if it's going to be more than a hobby, you're going to spend a ton of money developing a name, developing a distribution channel, developing sales channel, I mean, all of this stuff, it is in marketing for, I mean, just marketing alone could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you want to see, you know, if it's practical for you as a dealer, and what about gun stores now that can't get inventory, can't get ammo? What good is a firearm if you can't put bullets in it?
Right.
You know, and it's not
Right.
just about, you know, killing stuff or self-defense and all that other thing. It's also just shooting is a lot of fun, and people like to shoot recreationally. And if you can't do that, and you've got a gun store, what do? Well, you need to partner with people that can help you do that. And that's where Precision Airgun Distribution comes in.
Right.
And they have inventory. You can work with them. You can get inventory where you don't have to buy 50 units and have them freighted in or air. Now, if you want to get it in any timely fashion, as I've had to do recently, you got to air freight it. And it's a great way for you as a business owner to dip your toe into, do I want to sell airgun market with a company like that? Because they have everything you need for your customers to be able to go out and use what they buy. And
Yep.
that's huge. And that
It
doesn't
connects
always
you
exist.
to a lot of different products
Yeah, it's
that
huge.
if you tried to do it on your own, make connections to all these companies, it would be very difficult, if possible at all.
stuff.
Some, you know, we have exclusive distributorship on some of these products that you can only get it from Airguns of Arizona or Precision Airgun Distribution.
So
And so,
I want to keep mentioning, I want to keep going back to that, because I think that the part of what we're doing here and the why was SHOT Show didn't happen. So we're doing our own version as best we can. And one of the things that people go to SHOT Show for, like at Airguns of Arizona or PAD would go to that, would be to meet dealers so that they can open new accounts.
correct.
And so I want that to be an important part of this. So if you've got a mom and pop shop, or you've got a big store and you're looking to bring, you know, when we're talking, you guys carry from the middle high to the upper high, right? I mean, you guys
Correct.
are not carrying the big box Walmart special type stuff.
No, we're not trying to compete with that at all.
Yeah. So your stuff is going to be middle, high, and upper. And so if you have a shop and you've got a gun store in a town, and you're looking for that exquisite thing that you want to sell that differentiates you from everybody else in your town, this is where you need to be looking.
Yeah, and right now with some of the ammunition shortages, we're still getting pellets, and it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Once you get the platform.
Yeah.
To shoot air guns than it is to shoot powder burners.
So how do they reach out to you guys to make that happen? How does this mom and pop store reach out to you? And
PrecisionAirgunDistribution.com,
okay,
or they can call us. You know,
okay.
there's a phone number on that website. They can also, I'm sure Rick's going to put the information up there. I'll get my phone number to them, and they can contact me. We can discuss it. We don't take just everyone,
Sure,
Right.
of course.
but you know, we always look at everybody.
Easy
And-
way to do it. I apologize for interrupting later, but I didn't want to miss this point. Easy way to do it, and this is one of the reasons we have the website, the AirgunExpo.com, is if you go to their virtual booth page, there's a form at the bottom of every page. You can fill that form out. One of the options is, I want to be a dealer. So they can go right to that page that we've created on our website and fill that out. And that goes for any of our vendors. So any of the exhibitors, sponsors that are up there on our website, and you want to know more about the products we're shooting, more about the stuff we're talking about, more about JSB and their cool pellets we shot today, all of that, more about Umrex and their new Gauntlet II, all of that stuff you can find right on our website. And then you can reach out to them directly. There's a direct link from us to connect you to them, so that you can get that information.
Right.
Okay. So that is the other part of why we're doing this, because you guys
And-
missed out on a SHOT Show. You know,
Right.
You guys didn't have it.
And what I do, once I get those emails or those inquiries, we may email a little bit, and as it progresses, we'll talk on the phone. I travel the country, so if I happen to be going through that area, I'll stop in and see you. And that way, we don't waste your time.
Yep.
And give you something that's you're not going to be successful with. It needs to be something that, you know, as dealers, it's to make money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we want to make sure that we're both successful.
Yeah, so I would just encourage, if you're interested in that aspect, look them up and make use of that because they've put in the money, they put in the time, they put in the effort to get all those products. And they make them available to you so that you can make them available to your customers. So that is, to me, admirable. Angie,
Yes, sir.
you've already talked a little bit, but I want to know, what did you like best today?
I like the Gauntlet too because I won.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that gun for a little bit because that was a big debut today. We're going to probably end with how awesome those slugs were we were shooting, but we'll talk about the Gauntlet II for a minute. What did you find that you liked in the improvements? And do you think you could list all the improvements that they made to the gun?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know if I can list all the improvements.
Well,
but
let's see. Let's put a list. We'll put a list together here. What did they change that you liked?
the bigger bottle,
Yeah,
Yeah.
higher shot count,
yeah,
more power,
yeah.
and the consistency was
Oh my
sweet.
gosh.
Absolutely sweet. And looks matter to me. It looks a lot better. It feels a lot better. It's not as bulky and chunky. So I like that.
It feels like a real stock on her now,
Mhm.
unlike that first black one.
The rail, I mean, I think all rails should be dual. You should be able to use whatever mount because sometimes I don't have enough mounts and trying to find one that fits particularly for that one is a little difficult. So it's nice to have that dual option.
You know, we
Yeah,
learned
that's
today,
kind of unique too.
we learned today that there's this company that has these mounts called sports match mounts that we're going to have to get you talking with because they have mounts that can fit your stuff. They said so.
Sweet.
You can go
We
hear
do.
that in the studio interview that they have the mounts. So yeah, I will tell you that
Rick,
I think you hit all the ones I remember. There's a couple more, but let's see what this question is we have here.
are you ready for questions?
I guess you guys want to field some questions?
Yes.
All right,
Absolutely.
they're ready. We got to get to JSB Pelso, but go ahead.
If I want to get mods for an Umarex Origin, what will that be available in the future?
My question is, what kind of mods are you looking for?
Right.
I don't see that gun as
Daniel,
very,
that's
I
a
don't-
question for you.
I don't see that gun as very modable because of the Reaxis ever pressure system that they've incorporated. I think you're limited that gun is perfect, as far as I'm concerned, the perfect first PCP. If you have nothing, if you don't have a hand pump already, you don't have a compressor, you don't have anything and you want to try PCP, there is, as far as I'm concerned, no better option. And I still say it's better than the Avenger for a first air gun, PCP
Right.
air gun. But it's not one that you're going to build off of. If you want to tinker and mod and change, there are other better options. The Marauder would be one, but I think that you could do better potentially with an Avenger than a Marauder these days, because out of the gate, you've already got all the mods built in that you just can adjust.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents worth. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah. The Avenger's a nice first rifle especially for someone looking for high-end features in a inexpensive rifle. The Avenger's the way to go.
Yeah, it's a fabulous shooting gun, really good price point. The original question being moddable of the Origin though. Like Rick said, with the ever pressure system, that eliminates putting a regulator in the gun, eliminates doing any kind of bottle addition or anything like that. But there are some things you can do, better air stripper and baffle system to quiet it down, which I've worked with Hajimoto and Hajimoto Productions, which he offers. So you can look him up and buy that. There's some trigger work that can be done also. Probably want to talk to Hajimoto again. Other than that, it's pretty much a good first gun to own. And then once you outgrow it, just buy something else.
Did they respond to with what they were looking to mod?
There's not a lot you can mod, like you said.
Quieter or stock?
There you go. When we just went over the quieter, the stock is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not bad.
You could have something custom made. Maybe you
You
could
could do
send
a
one to
Boyd's or
Boyd
something.
they
Sure.
would, if you wanted
But then
pay
you're
the
going to
money.
spend more for the stock than you did the.
But look, I
Right.
know people that have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to make their Marauder what they want it to be. And
Or
I don't know
even
what you're
more.
talking about.
it could be
And-
this guy right here.
One of the things you need to keep in mind when you're thinking about doing that, if you can afford to do it up front, you might want to look at a higher end air gun.
True.
But if you can't do it up front and you need to do it
In
in
steps.
pieces and
yeah.
steps,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, there's
something like a
options.
Marauder is a good choice.
Yeah,
Marauder's
absolutely.
Such
Yeah.
a solid, still a solid. How old is that thing now?
Oh
10
my
years?
God.
It's older than 10 years because I had one in,
Oh, yeah.
in South
Got another
Carolina.
question.
16
All right.
years.
Question.
Do you think that combo deals will be more prevalent in the coming year?
That's up to the distributors,
Yeah.
I guess. And I see already there are quite a few combo deals, especially for beginner air rifle people where they, like, once again, we'll go back to the origin where they're adding the pump with the gun. And that also depends on what level of you're trying to get into. If you're going to jump up right away and get into something, like Larry and them have at AOA, they're not going to put you a combo thing together unless you call them and they match you with the right scope and everything like that. So that's not a package deal that, that's going to be like on the website.
Not a
Yeah,
big
as a
box.
distributor, we don't put together packages,
Exactly.
but our retail dealers do that.
Right.
And that's partly because of the prices they get from us as a distributor, that they can couple those things together in order to offer packages.
Well, that's what I do at Airgun Pro Shop. Okay. The whole idea of Airgun Pro Shop is that pro shop. Okay. It's not a alternative to Walmart big box airgun store. It is a pro shop. And so if we do a setup and you want it, sighted in at 100 yards, we'll have a range. I can just step out and do that. We charge for those services.
As you should.
Because like everything, the margin as a dealer, if I can't buy at a distributor level, the margin as a dealer with the overhead and the costs that I have, the only way for me to make ends meet is in the labor side.
Right.
And when we
Right.
bundle things together, we are able to deliver a great value, but it does come at a cost. But if you're talking about in the box, like Origins on the big box store stuff, look, I have been telling all the big three to make it as simple as possible for consumers to shoot their guns. When you buy something and then you need 3 other pieces, what is the point? Put it all in the box, charge a reasonable price for it. You will sell a ton of them.
I can understand your point there, but there's so many different shooting needs for everybody. It's hard to put a package together that's going to suit everybody.
We got it. We got it. Angie was jumping over here.
Well, you have at the Airgun Pro Shop, you have a quote page that actually asks the buyer what they want it for.
Yeah, now
So
that would
you
work.
can,
Well, I do. We have an Airgun quote page where you fill out what it is. It's actually, I developed years ago, and Tyler will remember this. We're gonna have Tyler up here from Pyramid Air. When I was running the chat program for them. And I trained all of their people how to sell air guns. And that form is based off of my sales and my sales training I gave them, which is you got to walk people down and identify a couple of things. One, identify their need, identify their expectation, identify their budget, and then you could pull something together that fits for them. But that is what the pro shop does. That's why, and we would work with a precision airgun distribution to then take their needs, their products, put a package together, and then deliver the solution to the
Yeah,
customer.
we work with our dealers
Mhm.
when they start as one of our dealers and do a lot of discussion on, what is your customer base? What kinds of things do they do? They primarily hunters? Are they competitors? Are they just plinkers? And then also on the retail side for Airguns of Arizona, we've got 4 people on the sales staff that when you call in and you say you want a scope, well, what are you going to use the scope for?
Yeah.
And they start asking those questions you might not think of, but you gain from their experience.
Another question.
You've got a couple.
All right, let's
Should
hear
I
it.
consider buying lubing pellets or not?
Lubing pellets. Is that like the cleaning pellets, the little cotton cleaning pellets? We'll come back to that. Take a minute for them to get back to me on that one.
Okay.
Well, if
Well,
I can
go ahead,
comment
please,
here,
please,
when
please.
I get a new gun I will go through and I use 3, sometimes 4 different lubes. I'll clean some of them. I'll shoot some of them right out of the box. I'll try and I'll shoot groups with each lube and see how it does best, what it likes to eat, if
See,
you
he
will.
competes. He's
So
the one MOA guy at 100 yards. He's that guy.
yeah, in my dreams.
Yes. And occasionally on paper.
Yeah.
Yes, Sue.
Speaking of a first PCP and scopes, what is a good scope to pair with the Avenger for target shooting?
How far are you shooting? What range? It's important to know. I mean, you're shooting 10 yards, but throw a red dot on it. If you're shooting,
Adjustable objective,
yes, you gotta have it, for sure.
especially if you're going to shoot in close. Pesting, that often happens.
So let's find out how far you want to shoot target shooting. Then we can give a better answer. Any other questions while we wait for that one?
And I always say you can't shoot at or hit what you can't see.
Oh, yeah.
So you need enough magnification, but you also, if you're hunting, you need a wide enough field of view that if the squirrel's running through the tree, you don't lose it. You can find it in your
So
scope.
here's a
Right.
question while we wait for an answer. Bench rest. I like bench rest, not by competitive. I'm scared to go compete because I would suck because I get beat by a girl all the time like Angie. So, I mean, what's the point? But anyway, I found that if I'm going to shoot bench rest, I prefer a second focal plane. Where if I'm going to hunt, I prefer a first focal plane. What do you guys think of that as sort of a way of thinking?
I'm the exact opposite of that. Rick. Exact opposite. If I'm going to go hunt, I want a second focal plane, usually a fixed power scope. And if I'm going to shoot bench rest, then I want a first focal plane scope.
Really?
I prefer second focal planes and I'm out there shooting when I'm hunting, shooting prairie dogs.
Really?
I don't like first focal plane.
What about you,
Wow.
Larry?
I guess something oddball. I like the
No.
first focal plane for hunting.
I would be with Rick. So we're
There we go.
divided.
Woo!
And the reason why is if you've got a lot of targets in close, you want to back that power off so you get a wider field of view. But you may occasionally get that really long shot so you can dial it in and your dope is the same.
Yeah.
If it's a good first focal
Yeah,
point.
me too. I agree. Yes, Sue.
100 yards.
100 yards. I think you need a decent, at least 24 power scope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing you see a lot of people make the mistake of is getting their underpowered scopes for the long range and trying to hit something way out there that they can't really see.
and the cheap scopes, like the Amazon scopes, easy to look at that $69 Amazon special.
Yeah.
I'm
with
telling you,
the glass, man.
it's not good glass. So when
But-
you at 15, 20 yards, no problem. But as you go further out, it becomes more difficult.
But if you get too high a power, now you tend to fight the rifle to keep it on target.
Well, not only that,
So too much power can be an issue also.
here's what I found with air guns. We'll come to this question in a second. 2 questions. With airgun scopes, this happened a lot of time talking with people in the sales channel. If you have you buy a 32 power scope, where does your pellet hit? Below your field of view. So you got to zoom out anyway. So if you're shooting at 100 yards and you're 6 mils low and you cranked it all the way in, especially like a second focal plane,
Yeah.
right? You can't even see where the pellet's hitting. So you have to know, your drop. You're not going to have enough minute of angle for your elevation adjustment. So like a 24 would be my choice for 100 yards, but get good glass. The most expensive glass you can afford, whether it's Hawk, MTC, and if you go Hawk, you want to go Sidewinder or Frontier, and that if you want to have clarity at 100 yards. My personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, glass is so important, and it's so easy to get a really cheap scope, even if it fits your magnification requirements. And just once you start zooming it out, it starts fish-eyeing, and I mean, it just buy some good glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Question.
The lubing the pellets that I am shooting small game with.
Oh, see, that's okay.
I never lube pellets
Yeah.
myself.
So-
I don't either.
You lube pellets to get accuracy. It doesn't give it any more killing power. You're making the gun more accurate
Did
when
you-
you're lubing pellets.
Have you found it matters?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I must have.
Now, it's a fraction of a pellet. more
but-
accurate.
But it's for you, when 1/10 of an inch is win or lose,
Yeah.
Right.
then it
That's
matters.
important.
Yeah, he's talking
you're
field
hunting-
target. Yeah.
I mean, if you're hunting
No.
that half, that 1/8 of an inch, the rat goes, you know what?
Unless you're shooting the squirrel's head at 100 yards.
Yeah, okay,
And then it might make a difference.
I gotcha. Yes,
What about field target, first focal plane?
Almost every field target shooter that I know of shoots second focal plane,
Yeah.
unless it's an extreme field target shooter. And then they may shoot a first focal plane. But normally second focal plane, and good clear glass that will accurately give you a distance reading.
yeah, because that's where your adjustable objective becomes, whether it's sight
Yes.
focus or whatever, that's where you know your
Yeah.
distance. That's how you know where your holdover. That's so critical. 'Cause you guys are shooting like teeny tiny little holes.
Yeah, 3/8 of an inch
Wow.
Not for me. Give me 2, it'd be like
out
half a
to
cake.
18 yards. So,
That's very, very tiny.
and if you're a half a yard off, you're just off. It's done.
Any other questions?
I've been hunting with second focal plane scopes since I was 16 years old. I'm 50 now and just got a first focal plane scope and love the simplicity of the reticle. It's not a question, but
That's a good statement. I mean, I didn't understand first focal plane scopes until I got one. And then I said, oh, I get it now. When hunting prairie dogs, actually, because you never know your distance. I mean, you never know what it's going to be when you go out. You may have one at 30 yards. You
Right.
may have one at 130 yards. And I could never, for the life of me, I could get the 100-yard shot, but that 25-yard shot I'd miss every single time. I could not get the close ones.
Yeah, range guesstimation is a whole lot easier for me with a first focal plane scope.
I say I like second focal plane. I know,
But it's hard to do range guesstimation with a second focal plane scope because your mil dot.
If you know how to bracket, a second focal plane scope can be very effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what a mill looks like on your target.
Yep.
Say
I
you're
got
shooting prairie dogs.
I got you.
So
I understand what you're saying. Sure.
it very adaptable.
Yeah.
So I understand what Joe's saying.
Yeah.
If he's bracketing, he's got a rangefinder right there to his eye and ready to shoot.
Plus, I shoot it a lot too, so I know my rifle. I know my
Yes.
rifle and scope, so I know where I'm shooting at.
I got you. Cool. What do we got? Anything else?
not yet.
Okay.
So I'm back on the Gauntlet II.
All right,
I do
absolutely.
like the M-lock that Umarex is starting
Yeah,
to
there you
incorporate
go.
in their rifles.
Mhm.
That's nice. That makes
good
things
feature.
a lot easier for some, just M-lock seems to be the way to go anyway,
Seen a lot more of it lately.
Yes.
It used to never be on any kind of air rifle stuff, but now I'm starting to see
It's
quite a
just-
bit of
it is
M-lock
cheap.
stuff.
And they're
Yep.
pretty easy to install too.
Yeah.
Just take the shroud off and put them on. Don't try and do it on the rifle.
Yeah.
You'll scratch something every time, but if you slide that off, it's easy to put in there.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can get them to go in there and
Lock. Yeah.
cam in,
Right.
but
Yep.
But yeah, that's a great option. And you
Yeah.
can put a lot of different things underneath that rifle
Oh,
on that
yeah.
M-lock.
Yep. I really like the Gauntlet II today, shooting that. I like their stock. I like the quick release swivel studs or swivel mounts that they put in there. I think that's a great addition. The M-lock is great. I thought it shot really well.
Especially with the JSB Mark IIs.
Yeah, you got it
Sweet.
needs the heavier pellets. It did not like the lighter pellets. It liked the heavier ones because it's pushing so much more power, which is no different than the Gauntlet high power that we had at the pro shop,
Right.
which now is obsolete. But the Gauntlet high power, which is shooting that 55, 56 foot-pounds with the bigger, basically the same thing. All right. Just the old stock. And it would not do the 25-4s very well. It needed the Mark IIs and it shot those really, really well.
Mhm.
Question.
Do you prefer a regulated gun?
I personally do, in every circumstance.
It depends on me because my Air Force rifles, of course, aren't regulated, and I have those set for raw power anyway. So on something like that, no. Now some of my custom builds that I do for myself, yeah, they're regulated, and I prefer that. But on my Air Force guns, kill it.
I think it depends on what you're shooting. What do you think, Angie? Or I've just jumped right over Larry. I just was.
That's okay.
I
Okay.
like regulated, just because there's more consistency. Like when
Okay.
you're sighting it in, or testing for groups, having those regulated shots,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have that big shot curve. I like regulated. And I do a lot of testing of different guns. So
What do you think, Larry?
So there are a few hammer systems that are just as good as the regulated, and Daystate made one of them. They have since, because of customer demand, added a regulator, but they had to take that hammer system out because they were bucking each other.
Oh,
But some of the older Huntsmans are just as accurate as the new ones with the regulator. So-
I have an old Huntsman with
Yeah.
it's unragged. It's nice.
So they can be made very accurate to where they're as good as a regulator, but they're few and far between.
It comes down to the engineering. I think a topic
Yeah.
we
The-
may want to.
The only one, sorry, Rick. didn't mean to jump
No,
over you.
no, that's fine.
The only one other instance I could personally think of where I wouldn't want a regulator is probably with a big bore air
Yeah.
rifle, where I
Yeah.
just want to be
That's
have
what he's
raw
talking about,
raw
raw
power.
well,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even with my
Then-
Condors, not even
then-
big, big ones.
Then
They're
a
just, you
then
know,
a
they're just
regulator is
nasty.
not that important if I got a gun that's a big bore and it's a four shotgun. It's
Yeah.
four.
The key is knowing your gun,
Yeah, you
like
have-
the bush buck.
yeah, like the
Now you
bush buck.
fire it the first time, you hold right on. Second shot, you're going to hold 1 mil up,
Right.
but you have to know your gun to know that.
Right.
But once you know that, it produces a lot more power without the reg.
Exactly.
And that's true.
That's
Yes.
the whole.
Will the prices go down on the Gen 1 gauntlets?
If I don't even know if they have inventory. I mean, you can go to umrexusa.com. They were running a crazy sale on the 177.
I say they're going to really go down because there's going to be a lot of them in the used, the used part of the Jeep. Yeah, the classifieds on the Gateway to Airgun. You're going to see a bunch of them on there.
Yeah. But I think they're really low on inventory for the gauntlets. I don't know
Yeah.
that I could even buy a gauntlet
Well, I think,
one now.
yeah, everyone's low on inventory with all the shipping problems that's going on right now.
So, well, we have just a few minutes, and I want to get back to the other big product release we had today, and that was the JSP slugs, which impressed the ever living heck out of me today.
Me too. I was completely surprised that we pulled one gun out of the out of the container. We could have chose 20 different 177, more than that probably. We pulled one out that we thought would be okay, and it just shot fantastic with the slugs.
The new
Travis.
177 knockout slugs are they're doing really good in a lot of different barrels. I mean,
I was
really
pretty
well.
shocked just to be, because I know what it takes to make that happen. You normally have to have the bore and the slug being, within a couple thou, so it engages the rifling correctly, and it's not, got too much bearing surface, got a lot of drag, or not
Right.
enough, and it's not engaging well. But for whatever reason, stuck it in that gun, and she just shot lights out with it.
Angie had a question.
I didn't have a question. I had a comment. Travis did beat me on that competition with the air arms and the
Oh
slugs.
boy, here we go.
Yeah.
They function well.
Yeah.
When they went from the magazine into the gun,
You know what?
not always the case.
That's not always the case. In fact, I thought they were smoother going in than
I
the
thought
pellets
so
were.
too.
Yeah.
I thought they were too. And Joe kept asking me, "We're shooting. Does it feed all right? Does it feed all right?
Yeah, I
Feed
need
all
to
right?
know
Does
this
it feed all
stuff.
right?" Yeah, it was feeding great, and I would agree. I think it went in
Easier than the
breech
pellets did.
more smoothly than a pellet than the 10
Right.
10
It was
The 10 threes were no slouch. The pellets were no slouch.
no. The
And-
13s, because of the wind we had today, just bucked a little better.
Well, I'm
You
talking about between pellets and slugs. The 10-3 pellets were good, but the 13 slugs were better.
We're better, but I'm even talking the lighter slug to
Yeah,
the heavier
yeah.
slug.
Yeah.
Just because of the
Right.
breeze we had
Yeah.
today, we could buck it better with the heavier slug.
Yeah.
Weren't you
well,
getting like 24 foot-pounds out of that or something?
We get 23 and some change,
23, yeah.
Yeah.
which
And
is 22.
22 on the 21 to 22 on the 10.03s.
Yeah.
You got to go watch that episode. I mean,
Yeah,
or that
it's
segment. It was
definitely worth
really
watching.
good because we cronied the pellets and both slugs, and the consistency was phenomenal.
You could obviously see with the breezy conditions that we were having, that the slugs were trumping it with
Yeah, they did
the
a great
better
job.
BC. that they have. They were definitely winning the battle, as they should.
Do you have another question? Nope. Okay. Well, guys, we're actually went over a little time. We're going to come back here in just a few minutes, and we're going to just have one more little session with our buddy Joe here. So if you have questions about, not about Joe, if you have questions
Yeah.
for Joe about pellets, about what they're, well, he can't talk about stuff that he can't talk about, but if you have stuff he can talk about, if you have questions and he cares to answer, then let's do that.
And the questions don't involve where are my
Yeah, where are my
pellets.
pellets? But you know, the thing that Joe does, and I think you guys may want to pick his brain a little bit. He is a small game pesting, hunting maestro.
Yeah.
And loves to take guns that have no business shooting 100 and plus yards
Yeah.
and pops prairie dogs in the head at 150, 170, 200 plus
200,
yards
300.
with guns that have no business doing it. And if that is your deal, this is the guy you want to talk
If
to.
you like small bore, long range, yeah, I'm all about it.
So let's come back here in like 10 minutes at 8 o'clock and we'll do that. And we don't have a topic necessarily picked after Joe. So what we might do is just wrap up with that. And if there's any other questions that we can field for you, be happy to. We may not have a full panel when we come back, but we hope that you guys have enjoyed this. And please go watch the expo. We got all week. We just had our opening day, which I think went awesome. Tomorrow we have a more packed day. It is more packed. We have another range segment, another studio segment, in addition to what we had today. So we have a very busy rest of the week. So 7:30 Mountain Time is when we get rolling. You can watch us. Go to the AirgunWeb YouTube page. It's youtube.com/AirgunWeb. Click on the videos, click on the live button. We're going to make that link a little bit easier to find tomorrow. And then you guys can watch right along. Well, I mean, we're doing it live. We haven't scripted any of this stuff. We're just talking here to you guys as fellow airgunners and as fellow friends of the sport, right?
Yeah, and go to the Airgun Expo website and see the events that are coming up for the rest of the week. And if you have questions, remember, it's a live show. Send us the questions. We'll answer them
Do
right
the best
there.
we can.
We'll do
Absolutely.
the best we
Yes, sir.
can. Yeah,
Or tell you that we don't know the answer.
that's true. That's true.
I'm going to embed the videos from today onto the website
Yes.
so that people can see them as
Right.
well.
So what
So
you're going
that'll
to,
be on the airgunexpo.com.
and what you'll do is what you're talking about. If there was like a Predator video we did today, we're going to embed that on the Predator
Correct.
Expo page. So
Correct.
their exhibitor booth page, you just go to meet our exhibitors or whatever the link is and scroll down there. You'll see Predator pellets. Click there, and then their segments from today will be right there where you can see them. So that is a big part of what we're doing. Is those will live until they tell us to turn them off. There we go. So guys, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for joining us. Panel, everyone here, thank you guys.
Yeah, it was a
Thank
great
you,
day.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. It was great.
Tiring day, but great.
Yeah. See you
worth having.
guys in about 10. See ya.